You are in the editing room of the podcast, Justin.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and this is how we jip in music. And it's been 12 weeks since we've done an authentic Dawn Patrol podcast, right after Dawn Patrol. And it's a great privilege and honor for me to introduce our new guest, head coach of Hayward High football, brilliant, I'm going to say scholar.
I appreciate that.
Literature teacher, husband,
Yep.
father of
4.
4. Feels like 6 when you're around.
There's a lot of us.
There's a lot.
Just
You
not
travel
very,
big.
Just not very many of us.
You travel big.
Yeah.
How
we
are
do.
you, Justin Redimer?
I'm doing great. I love the music. I was listening to a lot of Johnny Cash last night.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Which album?
His later ones, the Cash albums. Oh yeah, just him and a guitar and his voice and his
Who
life.
will be the next Johnny Cash? There'll never be another Johnny Cash, but just they don't make them like that anymore.
Not in rock and roll necessarily. Not in there. Maybe in like hip hop, you find
they?
that. Yeah. People who've had
Innovators.
those rough life experiences
Yep.
and then translate them into
Yep.
some sort of story.
But made music all the way through.
The whole way. Yeah. The
Like
whole
Ray
way.
Charles, all the way through.
Yep.
Who's doing that in hip hop?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It's hard for me to. I wasn't prepared to talk.
We're
about
here to
that.
talk about Dawn Patrol, man.
Yeah, not that.
And you. So how long you been married?
I've been married. It'll be I think it's 13 years.
Woo.
Yeah.
4 children. You've done a lot of living in 13 years.
A little bit.
Where'd
yeah.
you get married?
We got married in San Ramon.
Oh! I thought you got married back east and then moved out.
No, we met back east.
Okay.
So and then I moved out, and then she followed.
Okay. What college you go to?
Wake Forest University.
Wake Forest
Demon
University.
Deacons represent.
Whoop whoop.
Yep.
I don't know what that is, but that whoop whoop.
It's what the noise the police make when they're stopping you.
Oh really?
The whoop whoop.
That's the
Yeah.
whoop I make when I'm on a good wave. Whoop
Oh, there
whoop.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Freaks everybody out. Hey, when she went to what college? She was a crew?
She was at Wake Forest also.
Oh, Wake Forest. And it's
Yeah, so
volleyball or crew?
No, she was on the crew team.
Crew team.
Yeah.
She's an athlete.
Yep.
Yeah, and now you are head coach of Hayward High football and have a brand new stadium.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I
It really
saw
is.
it. I pulled the car over and went on the thing. It's amazing.
You're not allowed to go on it.
I know, but I've had years at Hayward High. I'm an alumni, dude.
Yeah, no, it literally, we go down there for practice, and I still have a hard time believing this is the same school I've been at for 7 years.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's well done.
it is.
Not overdone.
No, very well done.
And very well done. And you've had 3 games there now? 2?
We've had 2 games there, and 1 game away, so we're 2-1 right now. We
Okay.
lost the first one in a tight game.
Yep.
And then we won the last 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how you feeling about the season?
I'm feeling good about it. I mean, I feel we should have won that first game. There's always some ups and downs and things you got to deal with in terms of players and situations that are happening. But I feel like it's going to be a good year.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm really encouraged by you, how you're living your life, and I have from the moment I met you, because you vacillate, and that's a negative term, but I'm using it in a positive sense. You, as an English teacher, will be able to find a better word for me, but you pendulate, you swing between English professor, probably to the students, because you are bringing real literature into the campus.
Trying to.
Yeah. And outstanding football program, because you love the students and you want the best out of them as men and football players.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
No, I appreciate that. I think, I feel like my passion isn't just in one or the other, but I think that there's a quality of both.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about physical exertion and physical competition, and we have as a society have separated that out from art and literature and said those two things are incompatible. But most of human literature is about those very things. And so it's like, there's this sense that those things are way more interconnected. Being strong of mind and strong of body are not exclusive, right? There's not necessarily a reason why you have to be one or the other. You can be both.
And literature was the influencers. No Hollywood, no media, no social media, of course, no filmmaking, way back through history. They were the movers and shakers. They were the influencers.
Yeah. Well, stories,
Yeah.
right? Stories are how we understand reality.
Yeah.
And so I think, that's, for me, it's just it's an important thing for the kids to realize that this is they're part of a long chain that extends back into the past and across the world. You know,
It's beautiful.
And seeing that themselves as part of that chain.
You're pulling them into a big narrative, big story.
Trying to, yeah.
Bigger than their world.
Yeah.
Does that encourage or frustrate?
Them or me?
Yeah, them. Clearly, you're frustrated. You're the teacher at Hayward High.
Yeah. Sometimes it's great.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about something like literature is you get as much as you're willing to get in, right? Like you're going to pull out as much as you're willing to put into it. And it's really a case by case, sometimes day by day basis. Some days I feel like, man, these kids really embraced this and really got a lot out of it. And then sometimes they feel that way. And there's other days where I feel like there's a wall,
right?
And they're just kind of, the wall has eyes staring back at me.
Yep. Do you think it's because of the day, culture, what's happening on media that day, weather? Because I see the same thing even at like any public forum. I see days where it's just like, wow.
So there's a couple things we're fighting against. One is the ubiquity of entertainment, and I see that in sports as well. So you've got all these, you know, back when I was growing up and you were growing up, there were video games, but they couldn't consume your life. They weren't of that nature.
Not when I was growing up. There
right?
was no video games.
And so
first one, Atari.
Really?
Yeah. My first video game, Atari, and I'm out of high school.
Oh, okay. So you had already passed through.
Pretty much. Well, I might be a junior in high school.
Sure.
Boop, boop. And Pong. Boop, boop.
Yep.
And the ubiquity. That's the same thing I was thinking. The ubiquity of culture.
It's
the ubiquity of culture.
Sure. What I'm trying to say is you've got the entertainment factor. These video games distract them, and they give them small doses of pleasure without much effort.
Endorphins, release.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, if you want to get pleasure out of playing a sport like football, you got to put a lot of work in.
Yep.
Right? You can go play Madden
Yep.
and get smaller doses of that pleasure for much less work. Right? And so that you get that a lot. These kids don't want to do that. Similarly, same thing with like literature. You got to put a lot of work in to get out of it.
Yep.
Whereas, you know, you can click on YouTube. I always make fun of them because I'm like, you know, if only we had these devices that had like the infinite amount of human knowledge, right, stored in them, and we could access it at the click of a button. But instead, we watch YouTube videos of cats. That's what we use with the massive gift that God has given us.
Now, help me and teach me sincerely. Ubiquity. The ubiquity is that
ubiquity.
Oh, ubiquity.
Ubiquity of entertainment.
Oh, okay.
So UBUITY.
Yeah. I'm learning.
I didn't spell that right.
Of entertainment. Yeah, that's outstanding. Now, favorite. I'm blessed when I see you at Dawn Patrol. There's about 30 guys that I'm blessed to see, and you was one of them because you live 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks from where you work, and you come all the way down a hill through Hayward into Castro Valley at 5:45. And it's inspiring. And so you're one of the 30 guys I put through a filter is what I'm doing on this given morning worth Justin putting aside 4 children and a football team to come to this thing. And you bless me when you're there. What was your favorite part of this morning, Dawn Patrol kickoff?
Honestly, I think showing up early and making breakfast for the guys. That's always... It's fun to do that. The camaraderie among the guys that were there.
What time did you get there?
4:50. Yeah. That wasn't that bad. It's like an hour early.
Yeah.
So just the camaraderie of making the breakfast and you're hanging out, you know, kind of the early morning, the sun's not close to being up.
Right.
You know, and
right.
And then as the guys kind of start showing up,
right.
and you're there to serve them, and it's just a fun way to start the year.
Really
fun.
It
really is. And actually, you know, you were talking this morning about Paul waking up and being like, "You're hungry, let's eat," and so we fed him.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you turned it into like a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's as much a physical thing.
Sure.
as
Oh, for sure.
else,
Fellowship,
right?
breaking bread. There's something powerful that happens when we eat together.
Very powerful.
Yep. How do you think the breakfast is on a daily, like every Wednesday? Now we're going to go back to the spread.
It's solid. I mean, I'm more into the meats.
What would you add?
The only things I'd add would be too time consuming, I think, to cook.
Yeah.
So,
if you have a good input, we would provide that.
Yeah. I mean, just like eggs or bacon, but you can't really
do
how
that.
do you do that?
You can't do that.
You can't really do that. So
you can, but it's be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's solid as it is.
Yeah.
Maybe hard-boiled eggs.
Oh.
There you go. Because you could do those ahead of time.
Oh, you could do those.
And store them in a fridge. Yeah.
And those are fantastic, but the place would smell like farts, the whole place, when you break them open. That would be a bad idea.
Does that bother you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I run from that fragrance. And when I speak, you'll know, because I go to the other.
You don't spend a lot of time in the locker room, I take it.
No.
Yeah.
No. Hard-boiled egg, that was a good one. But it's the ubiquity of entertainment, Kyle, that keeps us from getting there early to cook eggs and bacon every week.
I don't think you got the message.
So what did you take home? You know what? Because it's interesting. How long have you been in football? Did you play Pop Warner?
So I played 2 years of Pop Warner, and then I was too
when
big.
did you start? How?
I was fifth grade when I started.
Fifth grade. And when did you first start watching football and go, I want to be a football guy?
Oh, man.
Do you remember your first team, first Super Bowl, first game?
I remember my first team. My first team was the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, Earl Campbell. I saw him in person.
Houston Oilers, but that was before me. So I was Warren Moon.
Oh, he was
and
great.
Those guys, right? Warren Moon and the run and shoot offense, Webster Slaughter and
I love their
Jeffries
helmet.
and all them.
Why did they go away from that?
Because they moved to Tennessee and the Oilers.
But when Houston got a new team, why did they go Texans and not the Oilers?
I think because they had retained the rights. Whoever the guy was that owned it.
I loved the gray, blue. I loved it. I have the pennant. I have a Houston Oiler pennant.
Do you?
And a New England Patriots pennant, because my uncle used to take me to all the Raider games, I bought the Houston Oiler pennant and the New England Patriots, which were not a good team.
No, back then they were.
No, they were terrible. But the red guy with the bandana or the hat hiking the football, love those.
No, the Oilers were. So that was my team, and it was because we were family friends with one of their players.
Oh.
They attended our church in Southern California.
Okay.
And his name was Bruce Matthews.
Bruce Matthews.
And he was he's 19 years in the league, 11-time All-Star, stud lineman. And I always just wanted to, I started watching them, and then I ended up loving football.
Yeah.
So.
And then you Pop Warner
for 2 years, and then I sized out of it. So I played junior midgets as a fifth grader, and then I played midgets as a sixth grader. Right, which is like 2 grade levels up.
Right.
Right. And so then I got too big. And back then they didn't have unlimited weight leagues.
Okay.
So then I sized out.
Sized out.
Didn't play 7th, 8th grade, played freshman year, and then I played all the way through sophomore year in college.
I have never sized out of anything. And what are the odds, do you think they still call it mini midgets?
Junior midgets?
Junior midgets.
Some of the different organizations have different names. I don't know.
I would bet $10,000 they changed that name.
Why?
Oh, we'll move on.
Okay.
So, but you are exuding what we talked about this morning, where God puts a desire, a dream, or something in you, and now you've wrapped your ministry. You're bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth through football. It's something that you've always loved.
Yeah. No, it is. It's something I've loved, and it's something that I really jumped in. I'm not from a place like Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting that that's where God, I feel like, called me into, and to be a part of that community and just to pour my life into it, to move my family into that community. And my kids go to school with my players' little brothers and sisters, and we live in the same town, and we go see each other at the same stores, and I'm a part of the fabric of the community.
A big part.
And it's not something that I think, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I'd tell you I'm never moving to a place like Hayward.
Right.
And I'm not from a place like Hayward, so why would I be in a place like Hayward?
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's an amazing faith step that you've taken. You went.
Yeah.
You got a prompting of the Spirit, and we talked about it this morning, and you stepped into it, and now it's legacy. People, the school district is looking at Justin Redimer and how he lives his life.
Yeah, hopefully.
And that's, what do you mean hopefully?
Hopefully I can live up to that. There's a heavy weight there.
Heavy.
Right?
Heavy. When you try to do it in your own strength, but when you rely on the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Well, and it never goes smoothly, right?
No.
I appreciated that about Danny's sermon on Sunday.
Yep.
It rarely goes smoothly.
Yep.
It's rarely like, oh, God tells you to do this thing, you do it, it all works out, you move forward.
Right.
Right.
It's
never
been
a struggle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you press on. That's Paul says,
yes.
Press on. Keep doing it. What's your favorite thing about Dawn Patrol? Because it's kickoff day.
Man, I think it's the moments where you do a great job, Mark, and of these stories that you experience in the scriptures and the weaving of them together. And it's really inspiring, not just from a faith perspective, but just from a storytelling perspective, as someone who teaches. And I feel like I try and do similar things in my classroom, to watch someone who is, beyond me in years and time and experience, who's able to kind of demonstrate those same gifts in a way that's helpful to the body to live out the calling of the kingdom.
Wow.
it's really it's kind of cool for me to experience, and I really enjoy it.
It's humbling to hear you say that, because I never thrived. In fact, I suffered in academic, forums, in educational forums, and so that's a real those comments are deep on the corners of my soul. They touch me there. It's like hard for me to. It's God's gift. It's like only God could be doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's so unnatural for me, and I can't believe that people rally around that style, because I was literally discouraged early on in my ministry from, I have notes from I took teaching classes, and you tell too many stories.
Really?
Yeah. You engage the heck out of the group, but it just moves from story to story. And I just went, wow. It was very discouraging. And then I tried to become academic, and it killed me. It killed me.
No, it's not. I don't think it's in your nature.
No.
And not only that, but the weird thing is that they would discourage you from it when it seems like when you read the Bible,
it's all story.
It's all story.
It's all story. And that's where at 5 years of the discouragement, I went, but it's all narrative.
Yeah.
And the Lord told stories.
Yeah.
And so I realized at that point it was the ubiquity of culture and entertainment that stopped the idiosyncratic nature of my storytelling. So it's really awesome to have you.
I like how you see. Look, you weave things together. You're like a carpet maker.
But I work really hard at the weave.
Yeah.
Because,
no, I know you do.
Yeah, really hard, and too hard probably. So thank you for that and noticing.
I don't know that you work too hard. I mean, what I love about it is, here we go, like your stories are engaging, but they're not just engaging; they're connected. Because
to the text.
Because like you said today in Dawn Patrol, like the moments are there. You've just got to have your eyes open for them.
You got to look for them.
You got to look for them.
Yeah. And
right?
and then step into them. And you did that with Hayward. I'm just blown away because I spent 30 years trying to get out of Hayward.
Sure. Yeah.
And I grew up in that environment. Yeah. Oakland to Hayward. It's like, whoa, American dream. You move up and out. That's what you do. Justin Runimer, you grew up and went to Ivy League College.
Oh, it was
close.
Good. Yeah, it was a good school. Yeah.
Good school, and you moved in through faith in the Lord. Said no, we're moving up the street from stinking Hayward High.
Yeah.
Everything's dead. Grass, dirt. You guys are playing football in the dirt with dust. You guys look like that. What was that little football game? Backyard football, where the guys were clouds of dirt behind them.
There was one year where Sunset was, basically there was one water main that needed to be fixed, and it cost $500. And the district just didn't do it for 3 years, because no one cares. And so one of the second to last season we played at Sunset High, the field was so dusty that you couldn't see the ball.
Oh.
Like when the ball would snap, there'd be a cloud, and then someone would come out of the cloud.
Oh my goodness.
With the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing, really.
I went to one of those games I want to say it was 4 years ago when we first met you. I went to like 3 games. And I remember I had to go down to the end zone. I got out of the bleacher, and so I could see what was happening. It was just like a dirt ball. Yeah. And you saw no ball coming out of the cloud. It was like the cloud would start and the cloud would end. And you realized that, that was a play.
Yeah.
And here you are with a new stadium.
It's like a divine moment up on the mountain.
What's new for Justin Runimer this year? And last question, what's on the horizon this year that excites you as a man, as a dad, as a teacher, as a coach, spiritually? What's on the horizon? I can't wait for that.
New things or
old
things?
Anything.
Well,
what wakes you up?
So I really got into duck hunting last year.
Really?
Oh yeah. That was fantastic. And something about being, it's like when you talk about surfing.
Yeah.
And I surfed a little bit growing up because I grew up in Southern California for a while. Yeah. But surfing just doesn't hold that same allure to me.
Yeah.
But going out and like being out there in the duck blind, and the fog is laying over the water, and it's pre-dawn, and then the sun's kind of coming up, and the ducks are flying through the air. You can't see them, but you can hear them.
Yep.
Right? It's just there's something kind of like you're in the middle of God's creation.
Yep.
And you're just kind of observing it.
Yep.
Right? As it's happening around you.
Yep.
And
there's a lot going on. The dog.
Oh yeah.
The cold. The truck. The gun.
It's a whole experience.
The whole thing.
So I'm excited about hunting season generally, but duck hunting season specifically. Let's see. I'm really excited. My son started playing football this year for the West Coast Islanders, and they shut the team down. There weren't enough kids who wanted to go out and participate, but they had a bunch of practices, and he really kind of enjoyed it. So he's going to play in the spring.
Oh wow!
And my oldest is not a kid who I ever thought would play football, but he really wants to.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, that'll be cool. And I think generally I'm just excited for the rest of the season and how it's going to go.
Sure.
And kind of the growth and development of the team.
Yep, and homecoming's going to be amazing.
Homecoming's going to be great. I mean, just playing in that stadium is just a blast. So I'm excited about all those things.
Those are exciting things.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about surfing, and golfers are the same thing. It's the clubhouse, the smell of the grass, the tees, every little piece of paraphernalia is exciting. And so that's awesome to hear. And Brian Wiggins, same thing. He's excited about hunting.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing it together?
We're doing it together. Yeah, we went and got our license together and, went out a few times together. I went out more with another guy from church, Jeff Rice.
Yep.
But yeah, we try and get out there. And
I got a guy.
You got a guy.
With a private duck club at the base of the Butte Mountain Range, Nick Drabeck. He's one of our guys.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And it comes with the dogs, spend the night. It's fantastic.
Didn't Brian win one of those?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he went.
No, he didn't.
He didn't go.
He hasn't gone.
He hasn't gone?
No, that's why we're waiting to see. Like he wants to go.
It's fantastic. Wing and a Prayer Ministries. That's a shout out. This is free. Kyle, send Nick Drabeck a bill for this shout out. Got that? How cool is that going to be, Kyle? Real cool. It's fantastic. It's in rice fields, and it's the prime. It's right next to Ken Behrens, who developed Blackhawks private duck club. Right, It borders it. It's the prime, and he's been running it. It's fantastic. The dogs are great. I'm not into duck hunting. I hate being cold, which is why we wear wetsuits. I don't like shooting animals, but I love shooting guns. So I'm shooting the decoys and pissing Nick off. I'm shooting the little plastic ones.
You're shooting the decoys.
And he goes, bro. And I said, well, I got to shoot something.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they cost? So he'd tell me what they cost. So I've shot 30 of them. What the heck? I'm out here. It's fun. They're not that expensive. It was so fun. But I get it. And football. Well, I know how to pray for you. And your son in football. It's great. You're living a great life.
Thanks, man.
And it's good to have you here. Dawn Patrol starts back where we are started. It's September 5th. And next week, we launch with a sermon entitled, You Gotta Just Go.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Jump in both feet.
Jump in both feet. It'll be frightening, unsettling, uncertain, and exhilarating. God bless you, Justin Redimer. I love you. I'm glad you're part of the fellowship and the community and the crew. We got the band back together today.
That's right.
See everybody on Sunday, 8, 9:30, or 11, and back at Dawn Patrol Wednesday. And don't forget about Dusk Patrol tonight with a new logo, new stickers. It's not all. Burgers. It's not the part that he won't fall. That's not all. Big burgers. Bacon burgers, jalapeno burgers, big cheese, everything. Peace out.